Hello, and welcome to Discovery Corner. I'm Claire Melvin. Pop the kettle on, pour yourself a glass of wine, maybe even put your trainers on or run a bath, and join me for another journey of discovery. It's November, and I'm sure thoughts are turning to Christmas. You only need to turn the TV on or step outside your front door, and it's everywhere. We're reminded of the Andy Williams song, "It's the most wonderful time of the year." And yet, for some people, it isn't. This month, on Discovery Corner, I'm going to talk about estrangement. Psychology Today in 2024 suggests that data shows that as many as 1 in 4 people are estranged from at least one family member. Estrangement can mean different things to different people, and for me, it means I have no contact with any member of my family, my parents and my brother, and I've had no contact since 2016. I'm therefore going to be talking about adult children who are estranged from their parents. And I'm going to issue a content note that, due to the themes of this episode, please listen with care, and if something comes up for you, please talk to someone you trust and seek professional support. In this episode of Discovery Corner, I'll share my estrangement story, look at the emotional challenges the holidays can bring, and the rituals I use that have helped me create a Christmas that feels joyful, authentic, and mine. Whether you're newly estranged or years into your own journey, I hope this offers comfort, validation, and practical guidance. I had a good childhood. I was happy and I was safe. I have an education and I was well provided for, and for that, I'm extremely grateful. I don't remember my parents telling me that they loved me. Now, that's not to say that they didn't or that it wasn't said. It's just that we weren't an emotional or an expressive family. And as I became older, I definitely felt inadequate. I was never quite enough. I was smart, but not smart enough. I wasn't thin enough. And I was never encouraged to go after my dreams because I might not succeed. I had a conversation with a friend once who said that my parents didn't want me to be happy. And I remember disagreeing with her and said they wanted me to be their happy, which was not my happy. So in the end, they felt let down, I felt let down, and it wasn't a life that I wanted to lead forever. In the summer of 2016, I took a step back from my family. We'd got into business the previous year, and despite me working 90-hour weeks, things hadn't worked out. I just turned 40, and I needed some time to heal from what had been probably the hardest 18 months of my life. And I also needed to figure out what I wanted to do with my life and who I was, as my dreams had basically imploded around me. And for their reasons, my family also took the decision to cut off contact with me. And we've been mutually estranged for about 9 years now. I can only talk about my experience, but there were so many emotions that I needed to process. There was the hurt that they didn't want me anymore, the relief that I could be the person that I wanted to be, even though I didn't really know who that was, the grief at the end of the relationship, and maybe not so much over what it was, but what it would never be. I was also in chronic pain, having been in a life-changing car crash over Christmas 2014, and I'd moved to a new area, away from my friends and from everyone I know. So it's not really surprising that I just needed some time to process and to heal. It's 9 years on now, and I can hand on heart say I'm in a really good place. And, the last 9 years have not been easy, but I have come through them. And the first thing that I want to say is if this is something that is new for you and it's raw, you won't feel great overnight. It takes time, takes compassion with yourself. And some days you'll feel on top of the world, and some days you won't want to leave your house. And both are normal. and give yourself some space to acknowledge everything that you're going through and everything that you're feeling, and know that you will get through it. And it's okay to just take one day at a time. It's also important to know that you don't have to justify your decision or your feelings to anyone. Thankfully, I have really supportive friends, but every now and then I do hear, "Oh, you only have one mum," or "Your mum loves you." And sometimes someone who has lost their parent will say, "I'd give anything to talk to my mum again, and you have your chance, and you're wasting it." And the thing is, you're not. They're viewing your life through their lens, where their family is, and it might be a bit annoying, but they're there for them, and they have boundaries, and they are acknowledged, and they're respected. And also, there are societal norms. You are brought up generally to love and respect your parents. But this isn't every experience. If I'm supposed to love unconditionally, should I not receive that back? And what about people who have chosen to estrange due to abuse, be it financial, physical, verbal? Choosing to estrange can be both the hardest and the easiest decision you'll ever make. The relief that at least somebody respects you and that you never have to be in a toxic situation again. But the guilt that you're willingly cutting contact with your family and loved ones. And I had terrible trust issues for a long time. If my parents and family didn't want me and they weren't there for me unconditionally, why would anyone else be? And I think that's something which I still, even to this day, do struggle with a little bit. And retraining your brain and your thoughts and your beliefs, it takes time. Reframing stories, changing patterns, it all takes time. There's no handbook. It's still taboo. Um, at least it's not necessarily openly talked about. And you have to be strong and believe in yourself. When all you want to do is hide, have a good cry, and actually just be loved by the people who are supposed to. Some of this may sound familiar, and it is hard. To walk away, to choose you, it's hard. I remember hearing once, you can be right or you can be free. And I choose being free. I choose me every single time. It's hard work, but it's worth it to live a life which is authentic and where I can be unapologetically me. And there are triggers, moments that can sneak up on you: birthdays, family occasions, celebrations, events, Mother's Day, Christmas, even someone unexpected. You could be out shopping and bump into a friend of your parents or somebody that asks you about them or asks, "Why haven't you seen them for a while? I hear that they miss you." And then you find yourself right back at the start. So again, I say it takes time and to have some self-compassion. Now, Christmas is a time of joy. We get the Hallmark movies of perfect, happily families. And incidentally, I actually love Christmas. I also love the Christmas Hallmark movies. And I am here for every single one of them. The adverts, the food, going back to Christmas again. And everything is aimed at families and gatherings of over 20. And, as it is Christmas, and you may not be feeling like the perfect, happy family person, and that's not the life that you've chosen for yourself. So what should you do? And the honest answer? Whatever you want. And this is where I say Christmas, it's just one day. And we spend months in the build up. And I said, don't get me wrong, I love this time of year, but it's one day. And if you want to spend the day in your pajamas, watching Married at First Sight, eating beans on toast, go for it. If you want to spend the day, you get dressed up, you eat a 7-course meal, again, do that. If you want to go out for a walk, you wrap up warm, you get some fresh air. This is your day, and this is your chance to create your own traditions. So, as I said, I love Christmas, and every year I buy an ornament for the tree. I decorate my house. I go and watch the lights being turned on. I go to a carol service. I watch the Nutcracker. I drink mulled wine. I do the things that I love doing that bring me joy, and I don't have to compromise. There are no arguments, no long road trips, no disappointing gifts, both giving or receiving. And I can do exactly what I want to do, and I love it. On Christmas Day, I usually put the radio on in the morning. I prepare lunch, whatever it is I feel like having. Um, Dance around my kitchen. I do some yoga, open my presents, and I just chill out. And I take some time to just be. In the last few years, I've also volunteered at the Christmas shelter, and I've taken time to connect with myself. I don't get swept up in everyone else's things, and I just focus on me. And yeah, it's incredibly selfish, but I love it. And how does that sound? What do you love doing? And how can you incorporate what you love doing into this time of year? What does your ideal Christmas look like? And how can you make it happen? If this sounds great in theory, but it's too raw right now, that's okay. Know that Christmas future will be the Christmas you've always wanted, and you will get there. And know that you're on your own side, and that you choose you, and you will be okay. For me, Christmas isn't Christmas without the snowman and the snow dog, lights on my Christmas tree, a new pair of pajamas, and a glass of port. So think about what traditions and what rituals, old and new, you can embrace. Think of a smell, a sound, a feeling, and picture your Christmas. Comfy and cozy, or maybe bells and whistles, surrounded by your friends and loved ones, who you don't share blood with, but who absolutely have your back, for who you're their lobster. You can say both yes and no this festive season, and they're both sentences in their own right. Estrangement, in my view, is the ultimate act of self-love. It's the ultimate boundary. It's your own personal green flag of self-worth, and it's you choosing you. We all need cheerleaders on our side, and sometimes they're not the people we expect them to be. So choose your cheerleaders, choose you, and choose to have the Christmas that you deserve and you desire. I know this episode is a little bit different from the norm, but I hope that it has brought you comfort and given you some strength to know your worth and value. And if others don't see it, they don't deserve you. And it doesn't matter if they're family or not. I've done a lot of research into this topic and a lot of reading around estrangement. And if you actually check out the show notes this month, you'll notice that they're quite sparse, and that's deliberate. A lot of things I've read have been around estrangement for the parents of children. And I have deliberately chosen to focus on the children, the adult children, but the children nevertheless. And a lot of things that I've read and I've seen seems to be a lot of content and questions around, well, what happens next? And, what about reconciliation and how can you get your child to come back to you? And I think I do want to address this here. And the answer with reconciliation for me is the same pretty much answer that I've given throughout this whole thing. It's do what is the right thing for you. Now, it may be that you do want to give your parents or your family members the opportunity to talk to you, but you don't have to. If it's something that other people are pushing, is it something that you want to do? And take your own time to think that through. If you've chosen to estrange due to abuse, then it's completely understandable that you don't want to reconcile, that you're quite happy to have those family members in your rearview mirror. And if you do choose to have a meeting, even before it leads to reconciliation, ask yourself, what do you want the outcome to be? And then a follow-up question is, what happens if you don't get that outcome? And then from then onwards, you decide what you think is the right thing for you. Because it actually doesn't matter whether anybody else or everybody else thinks you can reconcile. It matters what you want. And if you've chosen estrangement, and if you've chosen to remove yourself from a situation that you don't feel safe and you don't feel comfortable and you don't feel valued, then putting yourself back in that situation, it just doesn't make sense. So I think really do what you want to do what feels right for you. And, the best thing ultimately that you can do, that any of us can do, is to live a happy and healthy life. And if you do that, it doesn't matter what anybody else says or what anyone thinks. But that's my opinion anyway. So going back to Christmas, and to sort of start to wrap this up, put the tree up or don't. Deck the halls or don't. Pour a glass of wine or a glass of port, cup of tea, whatever you want, and make this Christmas all about you. It's a time for love, and I hope that you have a magical time. And if it feels too soon this year, get through any way that you can, and know that there will be other Christmases and other years where you can create and embrace new traditions. And as I said at the start, Christmas is just one day. And that's what you need to remember. So thank you for listening. If you found this hard, do please talk to somebody who you trust and know that you're not alone. And I'm sending you love. Until next time, goodbye. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Look after yourself, and I'll see you again soon. Stay curious and keep discovering.